Hello and welcome to another Sports Friday video for February 20th alongside sports editor James Cimburek. This is Jeremy Hoeck, and let's jump right into Yankton basketball.
And the Bucks on the road today against Mitchell, home tomorrow, Saturday against Aberdeen Central. And these are two teams that Yankton has beaten this year already, and two teams that are fairly evenly matched. The Bucks are 7-9, Mitchell 7-10, Aberdeen 6-12.
Yeah, and these are two, you look at the previous matchups and Yankton's already beaten them, so there's obviously that advantage going in, but, like any of these teams, and it seems like a lot of these teams in AA, anybody can beat anybody, so that you really can't take a game off and kind of go in there expecting to win. You have to play.
Oh yeah, especially tonight going into Mitchell. The Corn Palace is always one of the tougher places to play for anybody. But yeah, I mean, the Bucks have been playing well. Had a great defensive effort Saturday night against Pierre, where they only gave up 67 points. And we say only because this is a team, this is a Pierre team that over the last 7-8 games, has averaged 85 points a game. And the Yankton game is the only time during that stretch that they were held under 80 points.
Yeah, so there's definitely some things to look forward to right now for the Bucks. Going at Mitchell, like we said, Corn Palace, very tough place to go in and get a win. And then, of course, Saturday they host Aberdeen in a doubleheader.
Yeah, and the Gazelles have the same schedule with the exception of playing Mitchell at home tonight. Mitchell, a team similar record to the Gazelles, 4-14. Gazelles are 4-13. But Mitchell caught the Gazelles earlier this year, and it was actually the night before they beat Watertown. So I mean, that was kind of a win, kind of a loss that fired up the Gazelles for a big win in Watertown. Hopefully they can get a win and fire themselves up for another big win Saturday against Aberdeen. Both of those games first time around were games that Coach Pasika felt they could have won. So hopefully even as banged up as the Gazelles are, they can come out and pick up a couple of wins. Yeah,
we talked about some of the injuries they've had, and now you'd have to think now is the perfect time for 2 home games. Especially with the way things are going. Get home, have that little extra confidence behind you to be able to go out and maybe play well.
Yeah, the Gazelles finish up with 3 straight games at home. Next Tuesday will be Watertown at home, a team that they have beaten, but a team that's very good, and will remember that they were beaten the first time around. So 3 good home games for the Gazelles to finish up the season. Hopefully they can get on a roll there going into the postseason. Switching across town, Mount Marty already their postseason well in hand with a 22-7 record, 2 wins shy of the school record. 24 is the school record set back in the mid-'80s, and they can come one step closer tomorrow at Doane.
Yeah, the Mount Marty women are playing really well right now. They've won 8 straight GPAC games, and they're going to go to Doane tomorrow. A team that you figure they should be able to go in and take care of business, and there is a little extra incentive for the women to go in there and win. We talk about some of the playoff scenarios.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now the Mount Marty women are tied with Concordia for 3rd place, and we'll get to why on that in a moment. But they're tied with Concordia for 3rd place. If Mount Marty can beat Doane and Concordia slips up against Dana, that means Mount Marty would slide back into that 3rd place all by themselves. It would mean, no matter, 3rd or 4th, you're going to get a 1st round bye, 2nd round game at home. But the difference is in the semifinals, instead of facing Morningside on the road, having to win that game and a next game, you face Northwestern at Northwestern. Not much easier, but easier. And if you win that game, you're in the you get an automatic berth into the national tournament.
Yeah, so there's definitely that to look forward to. And we had mentioned being tied for 3rd. There was a short period where Mount Marty was 3rd by themselves, but the series of events kind of slipped out.
Yeah, the series of events would be Midland Lutheran playing an ineligible player. They had to forfeit 3 wins, 2 of which were conference wins, and it happened to be the 2 teams on either side of the right next to the Lancers in the standings, Concordia and Hastings. Hastings will not catch Mount Marty, but they do end up a little closer, and Concordia ends up catching Mount Marty, and because of the Lancers' loss at Concordia last month, it means that Concordia has the tiebreaker and would get the 3rd place.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate, one of those disappointing kind of things, but it gives the women a little bit more maybe a little bit more added incentive to go out there and to win on Saturday. You know.
Oh yeah, and I'll give them a little more added incentive to get in the conference tournament next week as well, which the conference tournament begins on Tuesday, the 24th, with the first round games. Quarterfinal games is just when Mount Marty will jump in. Will be on the 26th. Semis on the 28th. Championship on March 3rd, and high seed hosts in each of those games. So, probably likely scenario would be with Mount Marty being on the road on Saturday the 26th.
And switching over to the Mount Marty men, right now 6-23, and they have the regular season finale at Doane as well tomorrow, Saturday. We talked about the incentive for the women. There's a little bit of that added fire for the men to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, men are coming off a win. They won at Sioux Falls on Wednesday, and they're playing a Doane team that's gotten hot of late as well. Doane has won their last 3 conference games after starting the conference season 0-14, and the winner of that game between Doane and Mount Marty will not finish in the cellar. Right now, both Doane and Mount Marty have 3 conference wins. The winner will have 4, obviously, and the loser will have 3 and end up in last place. But so there's a little bit of motivation there. There's also a little motivation in terms of going into the postseason tournament with a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, the Mount Marty men have been. There was that one slip up against in their last home game. They played Midland Lutheran.
Yeah,
there's so many GPAC teams. Midland Lutheran. But before that, they had beaten the last opponent. So they played well. They're with a couple points away from a 3-game winning streak. So they're playing pretty well right now.
Oh yeah, and hopefully get a little momentum, carry that into next season where you're bringing everybody back.
Yeah, they don't have any seniors. They're not going to lose anybody.
All right, and this is a busy weekend, obviously. Besides all of the high school and college basketball going on in the area, state gymnastics is going on as we speak at Rapid City Stevens High School. Yankton Gazelles are qualified for that, as are Vermilion and Wagner in Class A. Class A portion starts later today, and individual competitions will be on Saturday. Nebraska State Wrestling Tournament is going on as we speak as well. 8 area wrestlers from 4 programs are in there, 3 each from Creighton Verdigris and Crofton, and then 1 from Cedar Catholic, 1 from Laurel Concord, and going into today there were 2 area wrestlers who were still in contention for state titles, one of which being defending state champion Trevor Wiebelhaus of Creighton Verdigris. So hopefully we'll have coverage of that both in print and online, www.yankton.net. And weekends kind of rolls into a very busy week.
I was going to say there's a loaded week of area events going on, starting with the South Dakota State Wrestling Tournament.
State Wrestling Class A in Watertown, Class B in Aberdeen, and I will be there on site. And while I'm doing that, you get to cover the State Bantam C Hockey Tournament, which will be at the Kiwanis Center here in town. The first state hockey tournament hosted by Yankton, so a big event for the Yankton Area Ice Association. We'll have coverage of that throughout the weekend, both in print and online. We'll also be covering the GPAC tournament as it starts on Tuesday, and we'll also be covering a lot of high school basketball. Postseasons begin. The Nebraska girls postseason began this past Monday, and then Nebraska boys start on Monday. South Dakota girls starts on Saturday with District 12B, and we'll have a few other districts starting up on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll have coverage of all those in print and online.
So there's a lot to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. This is the busy time of year right now.
Oh yes. And that'll do it for Jeremy Hoeck, James Cimburek, Dakotan Sports Friday.